everyone. Cindy Bettino, transformational healing, life coach, energy worker, a happiness expert. So I get asked this question a lot. It used to be that I did a lot of work, and I still do some, of course, work with people who are considering divorce, but I used to do a lot of work with people who were considering or going through divorce, and people would ask me, like, when do I know? How do I know if I should divorce? And they wanted me to tell them, which I think I've told one person in my whole career that I think it'd probably be a good thing if they divorce, but there was physical abuse involved. So it's because it's not up to me to decide whether someone should divorce. They need to decide if they're going to divorce. So I have 3 questions that I think are instrumental in helping someone decide if they should take steps toward separation and divorce. And the first question is I shouldn't say it's the easiest, but it's kind of the easiest, right? So are you 100% sure with every fiber of your being that you will be happier without your spouse than with your spouse? And the key to these questions are really being honest with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. If you're not 100% sure they are the problem, and you might have some lingering belief that you are also part of the problem, like you haven't figured out yet what makes you happy, because the last thing that you want, right, is to go through this process of divorce, which is so messy, and it's not fun. It's not supposed to be fun. It's not nice. It's ugly. It's just bleh. To go and do that and then realize that you're unhappy too, because whoever you are and whatever your bad habits are and what you don't know about you follow you wherever you go. So the first question, are you 100% sure that you will be happier without your spouse than you are with your spouse? The second question is, and this comes from kind of my energy worker background, right? Are you sure, 100% sure that you are done with your soul contract with your spouse? So I have a belief that we choose our partners for a reason, a really good reason. They are supposed to teach us something, and we are supposed to teach them something, and we're there to learn. I think we learn the greatest lessons about ourselves in relationship, because our partners put a mirror up to us, right? Like, who are we? How are we showing up? What are our bad habits? What are our greatest gifts? Yeah, we don't always like what we see in the mirror. But so are you done? Like, have you guys learned all the lessons that you could learn with each other? Good question, right? If you're there to learn trust, have you learned everything that you can learn from this person about trust, forgiveness, abandonment, whatever? So is your soul contract done? Have you learned everything that you can learn, positive and negative, from your partner? And the third question, I think, is the most telling. Are you willing to go through this messy, ugly, hurtful process called divorce, where you will be causing people that you love pain? No getting around it. You will hurt children. You will hurt family. You will hurt your spouse. Are you willing to go through this process with such a strong belief that you know that this is the right step, that you can cause all this pain without guilt or shame? Not without sadness, but without guilt or shame. So there has to be that deep knowing that you're going to be happier, they're going to be happier, your children are going to be happier eventually, right? That you have short-term pain for long-term gain. And if you say no to any one of these 3 questions, the answer is you're not ready. And they're hard questions really to be honest with yourself. And I think the third one is really the most difficult because you are admitting that you're walking into a storm. Yeah. So, how do you decide whether you should divorce? Well, ask these 3 questions. If it's not just a yeah, it's a hell yeah, then maybe, just maybe, you are ready. But before I would make that decision, I would definitely have some deep conversations with your spouse, with an attorney, and with a therapist before you ever take any steps forward. Because it's a big deal, and you want to make sure that you are fully on board. You know what your rights are. You know where you're going. Because it's not going to be easy. So, divorce is messy because it's supposed to be messy. And I'm Cindy Bettino. This is A Cup of Happiness. And we'll see you next week. Thank you.